Alrighty. What's going on, you guys? It's been a long time coming. Need to make one of these videos. If you guys don't know me, I do a lot of Twitch. It's kind of where I started, really. Do a lot of PvP healing, mainly small scale, although sometimes I can't get a lot of numbers out there. But I figured it was about time for me to give you guys a build video. So, kind of start out. I have a lot of different builds. Warden, DK, Arcanist, and over the course of, not so sure on how many I'll get out here, but I'm going to try to get one out every week at least. But I wanted to start with my main one. This is kind of my tankiest. One you'll probably see me out there most of the time with. Very, very strong. Lots of healing. Very, very tanky. Very sustainable. My favorite one. It's gone over many, many different variations over the years. But with subclassing, I think this is the strongest you can get. All the current meta in the game. So, starting out, I will go over the gear. That's probably why you guys are here more than once. More or less. So, starting out, we are rocking Mara's Bomb on the front bar. So, powered, sturdy on the shield, with a max health glyph. Kind of the thing with Polar Wind, after the nerf, I don't see it a lot anymore. But Polar Wind is still a very, very good burst heal. Definitely not as strong as it used to be, but it's still pretty good if you build into it a little bit. So really building in the max HP. Again, health, sturdy, and we run drain poisons for stamina on the front and back bar. And I'll kind of go and show how I'm proccing these, because you can light and heavy attack to get them off, but there's a different way that I proc these, and very, very effective. I really like it. Back bar, we're rocking Transmutation. This is kind of my staple set, to be honest. I've rocked a lot of different sets for the back bar, and I'll kind of show those in future videos of those builds, but as a staple, just healing anybody with a hot burst heal, doesn't matter. You're going to be able to give them a ton of crit resist, and with the meta mainly being critical damage, this is very, very nice. And a lot of people also run Rallying Cry with their builds, so this on top of that really helps out with the burst damage in this meta, especially with everyone running Assassination and proccing bows left and right. Like I said, there's a lot of different sets you can use here, but again, this is what I rock on my main build. And then for the monster set, there is a few that I run here depending on the situation, but my main go-to is Roxa. Cannot go wrong with this one. Gives you a ton of mag, health, and stam recovery, and especially if you're getting started with especially my builds, because of how I build, getting that extra sustain was going to help you tremendously. And I'll kind of go in a little bit more of how I do sustain the build, but very good option here if you have a little bit more sustain in the group. I like to run Ozezon. If someone's already running Ozezon, you can double up, kind of up to you, but if that's the case, usually I just stick to Roxa, or I don't have it on me right now, but you can use Earth Gore, I mean, Blood Spawn, literally anything you want. It's kind of the nice thing about a healer, small scale especially. There's a lot of options, okay? But my main is Roxa, my go-to. Love this thing. Opens up a lot of build possibilities too, especially ones that don't have a whole lot of recovery innately. So like the 2 lines here with mag recovery on Transmutation, say you didn't have that on another build, this will take up you know, it'll give you that. Other than that, we got a one-piece training, has the gloves, medium, got light belt, and then 5 heavy. All impen minus the waist, which is well fitted, and the chest is reinforced. All tri-stat. And then the jewelry, I run many different things here too, depending on the situation again. But most of the time, I'm running all infused with either 1 or 2 block cost reductions or mag cost reductions. It's really up to you on what you can sustain, but my go-to is 1 block cost and 2 mag cost. Now I have many different forms of transmutation. Like I said, this is my stable back bar set, but you can have swift, you can run protective. Again, up to you on what you want to run there. This is what I recommend, especially getting started. It'll give you the most amount of sustain. Now, a lot of people do mag recovery instead of cost reduction, and you can do that. There's no problem with that. I am just a big fan of cost reduction across the board. The more you have, the better off you are. Okay, you can get a lot more burst steals with cost reduction than you can with mag recovery. And unless you're doing exactly what I just did there, you know, it's not gonna really matter. Okay. With the banner too, I'll kind of get into this later as well. There's a lot of cost reduction on that. That's the first script I have. Again, helps with the cost reduction. Get more polars out. A lot more burst steals depending on the situation you're in. Very helpful. So, that's the gear. I got, Death Dealer as well. Just a lot of max stats. As far as other mythics go, there are not that many, to be honest. You really want this for the max HP again. The max stats are not bad. But you can run Cerebane's Ward. I have this in one of my builds, and it's actually really good. One of the strongest ways of mitigating damage, which in my opinion needs a nerf, but is block mitigation. It is so dang strong. And you can give that to your entire group, and then the health recovery, which, whatever, it's not really that great in PvP, but the block mitigation, it's very good. So, kind of up to you on that one. Those are the 2 I'd recommend. I would stick with Death Dealer, but again, up to you on what you want to do there. This is my favorite. It's good, solid, GG's. From there, I can kind of show you guys my stats here. So I'll put a screenshot here, and I'll show you what it is fully buffed. I got 45 points into health, 19 into mag. Really, the 19 mag is just to get a little bit over my max stamina. So if anyone's throwing me an orb or shards or anything like that, I'll get magicka back instead of stam. It's very nice. And then the Mundus, this one's kind of up to you again too. You can run the ritual, gives you a lot more healing. It's very solid. Getting started with the build though, I would almost recommend going the Atronach for more mag recovery. It'll help you out a ton with your sustain, especially once you start getting used to the build. But once you get their sustain down, you can run the ritual. Very good, very strong. Just a little oomph to your healing. Now for the food, I run 2 different foods. I run either smoked bear haunch, again, kind of depending on what I'm running into, if I need that extra stam recovery. But it's going to give you that max HP, stam mag recovery, and then again, health recovery, it's whatever. Right? The other food that I run, more often than not actually, is actually Orzorga's Red Frothgar. Now, the only difference between this and the smoked bear haunch is this one's going to give you a lot more health, meaning your polar one's going to hit harder, and it gives you a little bit more mag recovery. Like what, 150? Something like that. So, again, if you're just starting out, you need that stamina recovery, run this. If you just want full mag recovery, full healing, or Zorga's Red Frothgar. There isn't a whole lot else I would run here, to be honest. I guess you could argue like Clockwork, Citrus, or Witch Mothers, but in my opinion, I think these two are kind of more the meta nowadays, at least for what I run. But again, completely up to you. I prefer these two though, mainly Red Frothgar. So that's the gear, that's the CP, the food, the Mundus. Or no, I didn't go over CP, did I? Let me go over the skills next though. So with the skills, there's a lot here that I would say is not very flexible, and I'll kind of get into that. Banner though, I would say is kind of a flex spot. You can run a lot of different things here, but I'll show you why I kind of prefer this. So on the banner, they changed this a while back. Before it used to like reduce your recovery by, I think it was like 33% across the board, which wasn't really that big of a deal with us because we ran a ton of reduced cost. It didn't really hit us that hard, right? However, they updated it so now it constantly pulls resources instead of just reducing your recovery. So again, if you're just getting started with the build, if you're doing a lot of blocking, you'll see that your stamina is going to constantly drain every 2 seconds. Now this isn't that big of a deal, because you have the Templar rune to kind of give you that stamina while you're blocking. Very, very strong. But we got reduced cost on there. We have the Warden charm, which in a sense helps us with our sustain if no one is hit. However, if anyone does get hit by the CC, more often than not, you can just heavy attack them real quick and then go back to what you were doing because they're CC'd. They can't do anything, right? One of my favorite things to do, and not only that, but it's passive. I don't have to cast anything. This just goes out every 10 seconds. Super simple. Don't have to think about it. It just goes off, right? Now for the last part of it, you got Major Brutality and Sorcery. Now, you can run a lot of different things for this last part. You can run Minor Resolve, Minor Heroism, really whatever you're feeling. The only reason I run it is just to buff my HOTS a little bit. And that's literally it. Just to buff the HOTS and then my Resto ult whenever I actually do use that. It's very nice. If someone's already providing you Major Brutality or Sorcery, then you can run something else. It's just kind of my staple. Just a little higher healing. Not bad. Dark Cloak. Good lord. This ability is broken. So, I guess real quick I should mention what I'm rocking. So, we are a base Warden, obviously, because of the charm. Restoring Light from Templar, and Shadow from Nightblade. Okay? Dark Cloak, I don't know who made the change to give you the additional 150% healing while you're blocking, but good lord, revert it. This is a terrible idea. In PvP, if I'm around a keep or a tower, I'm healing for like 5-6k every second just doing this. Right? It's ridiculous. And you can pair it with a Polar, which will also do a ton of healing, and then also tick for a ton of healing. So if you ever get into like an oh crap situation, you hit block, hit this, hit Polar, and you are back to full HP, and they can't kill you for like the next 3 seconds because Dark Cloak is healing you for too much. Very, very strong. I don't know who did this, but that needs to be reverted. Yeah, very, very good. Also gives you minor protection, because why not? Also, with the Shadow line, you're going to get Major Resolve when you use any of your Shadow abilities, so you don't even have to run an armor buff, which is why we're not running Ice Fortress, because we don't need it anymore. But you also get max HP for each ability slotted. So, on our front bar, we got 3 of them, 15%, which is also why we're not using Nature's Embrace anymore. Or, what is not Nature's Embrace? It's, Green Balance. That's the one. Because that used to give minor toughness, or still does, but we get a lot more HP from here. And on top of that, these skills are so much stronger than nature. So, again, we got Polar Wind, another huge heal. This is what you're going to use to heal other people. Doesn't give anyone a hot anymore like it used to, but very, very strong burst heal. Next one's going to be Refreshing Path. This is going to be our source of Major Expedition, and also to other people. So anyone that's in this path is going to get that, and you guys are going to be able to run real fast. It's also a hot, gives you that Major Resolve if you hit it again. And then it also gives you all of your minor recoveries. Now, the way I used to get my minor recoveries was actually from scribing and using contingency with the Soul Burst, but don't need to do that anymore because it's just on one skill. Again, a very overloaded skill. Next is actually Phantasmal Escape. This is another Nightblade ability. This one's going to give you Major Evasion. So when I was a full Warden before subclassing, we ran the bird skill from, what's it at? Animal Companions. It was a Falcon Swiftness, and we had the minor evasion from that one. But with this, we get major evasion, and then also does the same thing as the birds, and that is to remove snares and immobilizes for 6 seconds. Very, very strong. And then on top of that, if we're taking any damage, we basically get a free roll dodge if we get hit, what is that, 10 times? So you could potentially have a free roll dodge every about 5 seconds. Yeah, this entire skill line I don't take off of most of my builds because these 3 skills alone are just cracked, man, for how I play. That's basically it, okay? For the ultimate, there's a few things I run here too. I would actually consider this a flex spot. So I really like using Spell Wall, just because if every once in a while you got those gankers out there that'll try and, you know, one-shot you with Force Pulse, all the gadgets, right? Well, if you hit this, I've had people kill themselves from their own gank. So, if you're taking a lot of range damage, or you're running really low on stam and just need to heavy attack a little bit to get it back, you can hit this, and then your Dark Cloak, Polar Wind, you count as bracing when you have Spell Wall, right? So you're going to get the healing, full healing from this, big ol' healing from that, and just block everything. It's very, very nice. You can full sprint while blocking. It's just a very, very good ultimate. Seen a lot of people using this lately for very good reason, but that is my go-to. Another one would be Bolstering Darkness, mainly for the extra 5% HP while slotted, but I don't think this would be too bad to use every once in a while. Gives everyone major protection, gives them invisibility, but mainly for that little synergy heal there too, that 24,000 over 4 seconds. When you're obviously buffed up, that'll hit for a lot harder. But there's that. You could use Barrier, depending on like your group size. Now again, I don't really recommend this for like all group healing. Again, this is for small scale stuff. But I mainly use this for the mag recovery while slotted from the Magicka Aid passive. So if you need that extra recovery, not a bad thing to put on here. One other I would suggest would be the Rite of Passage ult. So this one right here, the one that you get the extra duration and you can move with it. Very good if you're healing a lot of people. You just have to be very careful with this ultimate because there is a passive in the Restoring Light line here. This one right here. So activating an ability with a cast or channel time while in combat causes you to automatically block all attacks at no cost for 2 seconds, up once every 15 seconds. So you basically get the first 2 ticks for free, but after that, you're a sitting duck. You can't block, cast your heals, nothing. Now, if you can free cast it, by all means, use this ultimate. It's great. It's a very, very good ultimate. But that goes on to our back bar ultimate, and that's Life Giver, the rest ult. This is my go-to. I use this all the time. Very, very strong. One of the things that, for some reason, ZOS has not nerfed, they've done it with other heals, like with Blessing of Restoration. So this used to be able to go through walls. And I think that changed about a year ago, maybe 6 months, somewhere around there. Made a change to where you cannot heal through walls with this. But with Polar Wind, if you are inside of a tower, someone's above you, below you, on back second, you're in the mid, you hit this, and it goes through walls. For whatever reason, I don't know. They've tried killing a lot of the abilities from doing this. This one still does it. On top of Resto. So, one of the things I do is if the group is kind of scattered a little bit, you got people, you know, in a resource tower, up top, down below, back second, wherever the hell, right? You stand in the middle of second floor, even bottom floor. You pop a resto, you're gonna heal the dude all the way at the top who is about to die, right through the walls, right through the floors. It is such a good ultimate, especially if people are a little too far from you to hit Polar Wind. Right? Super, super strong. And then on top of that, it also casts a Radiating Regen, Blessing, and a Healing Ward. All for free. So, my go-to ultimate, I never replace this, ever, on like any build. Again, unless I'm doing, you know, ball group healing or anything, you know, more than that. Then on to the other skills. Again, got a double bar banner. Rune, kind of talked about this briefly. But this is going to give you your major resolve buff, which again doesn't really matter because we get that for just casting our shadow abilities. Kind of have it up all the time. Don't have to think about it. But the main thing with this is the little bit of healing you get while standing in it, or just by throwing it down, it still heals you. Just a little sticky hot for yourself. And then the stamina you get every second through block. That is the main one. That is the main thing with this skill. It is literally just to get stamina through block. Such a good sustainability. And then on top of that, if you are standing inside of it, you do get your minor mending buff, which increases your healing by 8%. And then, on top of that, you get a 10% block mitigation buff. So, with Restoring Light and Winter's Embrace, there is another buff here for block mitigation. They're 8%. All of that put together, we're sitting at 76% block mitigation. Now, cap is 90, and if you use Seer Bane's Ward, you will go well over it. Okay? This is the highest I think we've ever been able to get block mitigation on the healer with just skill lines, like class skill lines. It is very, very strong, which is why I kind of go a little bit more into block now, because with all that block mitigation, you're a giga tank. And until they do something about block mid, especially base block mid, I think, is the real problem, I'm going to continue using it. So, between those two, very, very strong. Now, with the third and fourth ability, I would say are your flex spots. Okay? Banner, and then Blood Altar and Healing Springs. So, I'll go over why I'm using Blood Altar here in a second, but Healing Springs, you can slot anything here. You can slot Orb, you can slot Vigor, Echoing Vigor, Radiating Regen, whatever you want, right? I prefer Healing Springs because it gives you a lot of mag recovery, and if you've got a decent amount of people that are standing in it, or you predict where they're going to go and they stand in it, you're just getting a lot of free mag recovery. 15 up to 20 times. That's a lot. And with how much mag recovery we have, and if you get a continuous buff especially, that scales super, super high. I think at one point, if I was using Orzorga's Red Frothgar, the Atronach, same build, with Healing Springs, Roxa, all of it, right? I think I hit up to like 5,000 mag recovery. Just absolutely insane. Which is kind of why, for the most part, I use mag cost reduction. Is going any higher mag recovery, sure, it'll help. Why not? But why not just reduce the cost of everything and let the mag recovery do the rest? You know what I mean? So, with that, we get to Blood Altar. The main reason for Blood Altar is, again, it's kind of my ranged heal. You can put this behind walls. Usually if we're like, you know, sieging a door or something, I'll throw this to the side, go to the door, and if we get negated, people can still hit the synergy and get a basically full heal. Very, very strong. It's also a very nice hot if people are consistently doing damage. And we can actually proc it ourselves, which moves on to the CP. So, green CP, really the only thing you need here is Breakfall. Anything else in here is just utility. But I do run Steed's Blessing, Master Gather, Gifted Rider, and Worm Out. Like I said, very utility. All you really need here is Breakfall. Going on to the blue CP, I run Focus Mending to increase the healing of Resto Ult and Polar Wind. Now you're not going to be increasing the healing of your Hots, but that's okay. That's why I run the Ritual. But again, if you can't run the Ritual, run the Atronach. You can play around with these. I just prefer this one, that one only. Now, the next one is Foresight. I don't think I see a whole lot of people using this CP passive, but good lord is it also very, very strong. Now, most of the time, if you're healing people over and over and over again, you're going to run yourself out of mag. Doesn't matter how much mag recovery you have, you're going to run out eventually, okay? One of the biggest things is that dang CP passive, man. If you hit a pot, you get 6 free burst heals. So if you're getting really, really pressured, you hit that thing, and you're good to go. You are a healing machine. And most of the time, if you hit a pot, you heal them a few times, cool, then you can just let your mag recovery skyrocket, right? Or get yourself a little heavy attack in, whatever you need to do. Very, very good passive, or slottable. I don't see a whole lot of people using it. You can swap it out for something else if you don't like it. I really, really like it for the really outnumbered situations. For when people are taking a lot of damage, and I can't consistently heal them over and over and over and over again. Very, very nice. Definitely recommend, however, that you can just run like another healing, passive, whatever you want, right? With that, we get into our defense. You can run Ironclad, you can run Resilience, up to you. I would suggest either one of these. Very, very strong. And then the last one is actually Cutting Defense. Now, you might be asking, like, what the hell is this? So, don't look at the damage. We don't use it for the damage, okay? The main thing we're looking at is it does direct damage to people around you within 7 meters. No cooldown, and most importantly, it activates your weapon enchantments and poisons, okay? So, those moments where you're getting super pressured, and if you were to let go of block for like more than 2 seconds, or a second even, and you're gonna die, just being next to them, they're gonna hit themselves. And it's gonna proc your stam drain poisons. Which in those highly pressured moments, you're probably gonna want that extra stam through block. That's exactly what that's there for. Very good, very strong. And then on top of that, it's also gonna proc your own Blood Altar. So when they're beating the crap out of you, you're gonna get a little bit of extra healing from your own altar. Which is why I kind of run that. That is the blue CP. Now, however, if you don't want it, it's kind of a hidden sustain, in my opinion. If you don't want it, run another defense, run another healing, run Enlivening Overflow. Again, really up to you. This is what I recommend. It's what I really like. But moving on to the red CP. The two I never get rid of is Pain's Refuge and Survival Instincts. These two are goated. This one's going to give you a ton of damage reduction for every negative effect you have on you. And then this one, while you have a negative effect on you, or a status effect in this case, you're going to get the cost reduction to all of your core combat abilities. So that includes block, roll dodge, break free. Very, very good to have. If you didn't have this, it really kills your stam sustain, if I'm gonna be honest. It's very hard to get rid of. It's a very, very good slottable. Now, outside of those two, that is where the Flex 2 come in. So, I build into a little bit more max HP. Again, this is going to be kind of a pseudo-sustain, or not a sustain, tankiness and healing, because again, your Polar Wind's going to scale off of health. And then the last one I run is either Celerity, or I run like Juggernaut, Slippery if it's very laggy and you can't break free very often because it's, you know, extremely laggy. Very good CP to have, but most of the time I do run Celerity. One good one to actually mention here too, if you run some Swift on your build, you can actually run Bracing Anchor. And this one's going to give you 20% block mitigation at the cost of a little bit of movement speed. Very, very strong if you're trying to hit cap on block mit. I've used it quite a bit. Very, very good if you're looking for just raw defense, if you're going to be blocking a lot. But other than that, that is the CP I run. I've gone over the skills. Also, I guess I didn't go over my race. I am a Imperial. I don't know where I really look at that or see that. Yeah, there it is. I'm an Imperial. This one, I would say, is really the best for what I try to do. Again, a lot of cost reduction. This not only goes to your abilities, it also goes to your ult cost, dodge roll, sprint, block, break free, all of that. Core combat skills, just like the survival instincts. It's a very, very strong passive. A lot of sustain. And again, a lot of extra health for Polar Wind. But yeah, other than that, I think that is the main build I wanted to show you guys today. Going forth, I have a lot more. I have a resistance sharing build, weapon damage sharing build. There's a lot of others I want to get out to you guys, but again, I really wanted to get this out to you guys, give you some of that general information. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for a video format of the build. And yeah, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll try to get to you guys. But for the most part, if you want to ask me while I'm live, I'm live every single day on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube, so you could actually catch me on here. And ask me any questions you guys have. So, with that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.